Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. Welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Mani, and thank you all for attending today's event. For those of you who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a very warm welcome back. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is an initiative by Vishwa. Vishwa.org is an online platform for everyday change makers and social champions. It's a crowdfunding and crowdsourcing platform that is aimed at helping anyone find the support they need in their efforts and endeavors to solve problems not just for themselves, but for others, and in the process, make the world a better place. Vishwa Talks are a series of weekly webinars hosted every Saturday that are focused on gaining in-depth knowledge from the experts on a wide range of topics that are pertinent to the current context. Today's Vishwa Talk is in partnership with Roshni Trust, a Hyderabad-based NGO that has been helping people manage their mental health for over 20 years. Our speaker today is Dr. Sri Lakshmi Pingali, who is an MD Psychiatry from Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi. She's an associate professor of psychiatry at Gandhi Medical College and Hospital, Hyderabad. She's a consultant psychiatrist at Roshni Counseling Center and has been associated with the center since its inception in 2010. She has a special interest in child psychiatry and in spreading awareness and reducing stigma in psychiatry. She writes articles and does TV shows on various psychiatry-related disorders, explaining them in simple terms to be easily understood by the layperson. She is also an avid animal lover and is involved in several rescue and animal welfare activities. In conversation with her today is Srilata Pingali, who after 10 years of corporate experience working with companies such as IBM and Cognizant, has shifted to the field of education in pursuit of a better work-life balance and now manages 5 branches of a pre-primary school. Today, they're going to be talking to us about anxiety disorders, and they're going to help us look at them in a new light and share insights into how we can manage them to improve the quality of our own lives or of others who are living with such challenges. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that our speaker will be taking questions from you after her main talk. So please raise a hand or type your questions in the chat and we will let you interact. Now, without further ado, if I may please invite our speaker to start today's Vishwa Talk.
Thank you, Mani. It's always a pleasure to be associated with Vishwa and the kind of amazing work that you're doing. What I want to do is to possibly start off with screen sharing as I continue talking, because for me, is a very big challenge today because I actually need to talk to 2 sets of people who are joining us today. We've actually talked about this webinar that way to the general public to be aware of anxiety disorders, and also the people with anxiety who are suffering, as well as the psychologists who are treating them. So a big challenge for me. So taking me along and helping you all to understand is Srilata Pingali, and as our surname suggests, she is also my younger sister, and who has faced possibly life in all different directions. As you can see, like she's been in software and then she's come to education sector, and she also is raising a fantastic child. So all this makes her very eligible to ask questions on your behalf, to tell us, to ask what you always have wanted your psychiatrist to ask. Because, and this talk especially has been because in the recent times, in the last 2 months, in the last 3 months, we've lost almost 2 doctors to cardiac illness, to a heart attack, and they were hardly 28 years old. We recently lost a child of a doctor to suicide. What is happening? Where are we going? And how can we deal with anxiety disorders, especially when the world around you is telling you that it's all in your mind and you should learn to divert your mind and you should learn to think better. You won't believe the number of patients who come into my room and tell me, doctor, I do not want medicines. They will damage my brain. But I'm sure when you go to a cardiologist, you yourself ask, doctor, can you give me some medicine? My heart is in a bad shape. So trying to unravel and untangle the mysteries behind anxiety disorders in the very short 30 minutes that are given to me, and helping me along is Srilata, and balancing, and I'll try and do a balancing act between the people who are already conversant with the subject and for people who it's entirely new. So Srilata, I'll hand it over to you to kickstart the proceedings, please.
Thank you, doctor, for such a wonderful introduction. Good morning, everyone. I was actually very eager to be here today, as this topic is very close to my heart, considering me and many like me would be going through these anxiety issues in our everyday life. I would rather say many times in a day as well. So I would like to start off by asking you, doctor, we get to hear many terms every now and then, like stress, anxiety, anger. Are they not all, I mean, are they not one and the same, used for the same mood that we feel under different situations?
Yes, a very interesting question. So we'll, as she asks me these questions, I'll also take you through the slideshow to understand. So when you open our brain, think of this round dabba as a brain which is filled with the trash of fear, stress, and anxiety. So we do, yes, I agree with you that we do use it very interchangeably. But are they really one and the same? Is stress is something that is taxing your ability to cope. For example, for you having to drive a very long distance, maybe an enjoyable thing because you love to drive. For me, it may be very stressful because I'm afraid of traffic. So this way, stress is an external factor or an internal factor which is taxing your ability to cope with the situation. That ab mujhse nahi ho payega. When you feel that ab mujhse nahi ho payega, what you feel is a stress. The emotion that evokes can be either fear or anxiety. When you see a snake and you're afraid, that is fear because there is an object and it is external and it is there. But when you fear the results of the exam, thinking agar main fail ho gaya to, that is anxiety because it's a fear of the unknown. Both of them have similar manifestations. Both of them are necessary and a natural instinct of human beings. But whereas fear is actually to an object that is there right in front of your eyes, anxiety is something that you're anticipating ki bhagwan na kare ye ho jaye to mera kya hoga, that kind of thing. Yes.
So how common would you say is anxiety these days? Is it a very common thing?
In 2017, according to Lancet, which is an international journal of medical science, about 197.3 million people of India have suffered from mental disorders. 45.57 million, say approximately 46 million have depressive disorders. 45 million suffer from anxiety disorders. We are a 1.6 billion population, or 1.3 billion, I suppose. And of that, 45 million already suffer from anxiety disorders, which means of all the audience, some of us certainly are suffering from anxiety disorders. What I suggest is let's ask them ourselves. So how many of you have ever or very recently felt a pounding heart, difficulty in drawing a deep breath, and you feel breathless and choked? Oh my God, what is going to happen? Sweating, trembling, an urge to use the toilet, a queasy sensation, a feeling that something bad is going to happen to me. Not able to sleep, not able to, with worrying thoughts running through your head, wondering what is going to happen to me. There is the poll, and there are your answers. We're still waiting for others to answer. When you say recently, if you want to think of the last 6 months of your life and tell me how many of you have actually gone through this. Srilata, that answers the question, how common it is. Of the audience we have till now, 73% have gone through some or the other symptoms of anxiety, thereby validating your introductory statement, which said most of us have suffer from this anxiety at least once in a while, and for some of us, it is almost every day. So yes. Are we done with the poll? Is the poll done?
Yeah, they're still filling it, ma'am.
Yeah, so we'll wait on for some more time. But let me then fill in the gap when they're still filling it in. That just because you have a symptom of anxiety, please don't get worried now or to get anxious, right? Don't tell yourself, oh my God, then am I having anxiety and do I need to see this doctor? No, you don't need to see me. Anxiety is a very adaptive, acceptable emotion. When it gets dysfunctional is the time when you need to see a mental health professional. I am using the word mental health professional because there are a lot of us. And just to fill in the gaps till the poll is over, you know that mental health professionals is a wide umbrella ranging from counselors to who are specially trained in counseling, to people who are clinical psychologists who are trained in therapies like cognitive behavior therapy and interpersonal therapy and so on and so forth, 2 special educators for children with disabilities, 2 psychiatrists who are medical doctors who do an MBBS MD. This is necessary for you to understand, because many times people ask me, they come into my room asking for counseling. I say, though I can counsel and I'm trained to, but I would rather that you go to a person who's actually trained to do that, and will give you all the time. So there's a lot of confusion between who's a psychiatrist and who's a psychologist. So I hope by the end of this, you're aware of what is who's a psychologist and who's a psychiatrist. Yes, can we share the results now, please?
Ma'am, I think 75% of them have said yes.
75%. So anxiety is nothing new. Anxiety is nothing new, and that is how common it is, isn't it? So Srilata, does that answer your question about how common is anxiety disorders?
Yes, it does. Thank you. So I understand that anxiety is not a bad thing to have, as long as it is, within a certain limit. How do we know when, it is crossing a limit and when we have to go visit a doctor? Because as I have personal experience, when I do feel anxious and I speak to my friends, they say, oh, it's nothing. It's just your frame of mind. You think positively, and you engage yourself in a positive way, and you'll start feeling better. Is that the right advice? How do we know when to see a doctor?
Yes. Excuse me for a minute, because I'm not able to move my screen. So this is to answer your question. If you've seen the Surf Excel ad, it says daag achhe hain, thoda anxiety acha hai, because anxiety is something, it's a fuel to push you forward and propel you forward. Oh God, will I get good marks? Oh God, will I pass the exam? Oh God, will I get this job? This kind of prayers we have in our mind. And there's a little bit of anxiety is good, because it focuses your attention. You're more attentive. You don't get diverted to watch YouTube or to watch talk shows like ours. So you don't get diverted, and you do exactly what you're supposed to be doing at that time. So you're supposed to be focusing, and so you focus. But when that comes to a point when anxiety increases to a level where it interferes with your ability to focus, you're so anxious that you cannot even sit still, that time, and it becomes dysfunction. So you're supposed to be studying, you're a student, you're supposed to be studying, but you're not able to do that anymore. You are a working professional, you're supposed to be working, but focus nahi ho raha, and your appraisal is going down. You are a working woman, you're a housewife who's supposed to look after your children, but getting up from bed is a chore, because you're so anxious ki mujhe aage nahi dekhna, na ki roz chala bharanga houngi. So this is anxiety which has become dysfunctional. So thoda anxiety acha hai, because it is evolutional and it is necessary, because that is how even animals learn to protect themselves from prey. That is how we protect ourselves from danger. But when it goes beyond a point that it becomes too much to tolerate, it has become a disorder, and that is the time you need to see a mental professional. So there's also this people are often confused about, do I have or don't I have an anxiety disorder? Okay, so this is aimed especially at my psychologist friends who could a show of ray of hands, and maybe Shrita could help me count the number of raised hands. I don't know if that's possible. Is it possible to count the number of hands?
I'll just let you know.
Or maybe the Vishwa people can help us. So anxiety does not come in a single form. Though the symptoms of anxiety is very common to all anxiety disorders, there are different types of anxiety disorders. So let me just start by, to my psychologist friends, this is a very common case all of you would get in your OPDs, and who would come to me also very often, right? This is a real case of my own patient who I'm talking about, and if he's watching this, he'll recognize himself. 40-year-old male who came rushing into the emergency, a medical college emergency, crying that I cannot breathe, doctor, my chest is choking up, my heart is beating so fast, I can hear it in my ears, I'm sweating, I feel like vomiting, please help me, I'm going to die. Is it okay? Am I getting a heart attack? And when you actually see, and when you actually look at these, and you do an ECG, you do an echo, you do a TMT, you do his pulmonary function test and all that, and you find that all his tests are normal. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Can anybody type in the chats and let me know about what is it that we're dealing with here? Any psychologist friend who's listening to this and can tell me what is it that we need to, what is this disorder that we're dealing with here? Or any of the general public also who wants to tell me what is it that we're dealing with here? Yes, so many of them, and I'm so happy everybody said panic attack. You know, but what happens with panic attack, people? Panic attack is an extreme form of anxiety where they're not able to control themselves, okay? And do you know that people in panic attacks are so scared that suicide is a very common accompaniment for panic attack? The anxiety is so unbearable. Therefore, it's called an attack of extreme anxiety. Often confused with a heart attack because it's that bad, often wakes you up from sleep, often catches you unawares, or sometimes it can also happen when you are fearful of something. For example, you are afraid of a snake, you can get a panic attack. So just having a panic attack does not mean you're having a disorder. Like if you're having a panic attack and you can have it in, like you have fever, you can have a panic attack. If the panic attack comes recurrently, comes without any reason, comes unexpectedly, comes as a bolt out of the blue, this becomes a panic disorder and it is treatable. Most often these people roam around every cardiologist in the city till they finally land up with a psychiatrist very reluctantly because they say, "Pagal to nahi hu na, mujhe sahi mein to ho raha hai." Bhai, sahi to ho raha hai. Really, you're feeling it. You're absolutely feeling the symptoms. It is because your brain has perceived something as risky and has gone into an overdrive. Your stress hormones are being produced, your chemicals are being released, your heart is beating hard, you're breathing hard, you're not able to focus, you are suffering. So to tell people that you think different at this time, apni man ki baat hai, differently socho, you're being extremely unkind to that person. You're not able to empathize with the suffering of the person. If you're not able to understand, please take him to the nearest health facility where they will diagnose what it is. So this is one kind of a anxiety disorder that will go along. So I will just go through the list of this one, giving you case examples. Why is my screen getting stuck all the time? I'm extremely sorry. There's something going on with my screen, which is getting stuck all the time. So let's come to the next question. The next kind of panic disorder that you might feel, and again, a question for my psychologist friends is, let me just share it like this for some time and then we'll go for the screen. A 56, this is a very classical case of mine, which I have loved to discuss. This is a 56.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Would you
Yes.
mind making that full screen if you don't mind?
Yes, yes. Will that do? Yeah. Okay. There's something going on with, it was actually full screen. I need to make it a slideshow, but what happens is it's getting stuck for some reason. So I'm having to, okay, it seems to be working now. So there's this 56-year-old man who came to me when he was 56, was a very poor man by occupation, failure by occupation, not very well off, not poor, but not very well off. With a lot of difficulty, educated his son and sent him to the US. This man had a very peculiar problem. As he was a child, he was playing and got locked up in a closed room and in a dark room where he could not get out for a very long time. So since then, he's very afraid of closed rooms where he's afraid to get out. And he feels that if door is closed, he may die of suffocation. But now he has to go to the US because his son is working there. Imagine a lower middle class Indian who sent his son abroad, and now son is very eager that this man, father, should come and share in his joy and in his success. And father is not able to go because once he gets into a plane, the doors close from outside. So what is this? Can anybody tell me what this is? Yes, claustrophobia. Yes, Neha Yadav, thank you so much. And Saptarishi Adhikari ji, thank you so much. This is claustrophobia. So why do we call it? So claustrophobia is one kind of phobia where there is people are afraid of any particular kind of an object. They know it is not true, but they can't stop themselves. So to this man, if I had said, "Koi baat nahi, you get it to plane, nothing will happen to you. Only the closed doors from outside. So many of us are there. I also travel." Then that man will never be able to travel. You need to solve the problem. Similarly, some may be afraid of heights, some may be afraid of cats, some may be afraid of dogs. So that is how it is that it moves. There is something really wrong with my PowerPoint. I'm extremely apologetic about this. So we will just do it like this with your permission. So the next question. There was this gentleman friend of mine who never let his wife visit her parents. He was very, and they had huge fights because the wife would not allow him to visit. And she would always complain that he's not allowing me to go out of the house. He does not allow me to go shopping. He does not allow. So immediately a suspicion will be that, is this man paranoid? Is he suspecting her? But it was not so. What had actually happened with him was, he was so afraid to stay alone that he clung on to her. So much so that they used to live somewhere in Kukatpalli, if you're familiar with Hyderabad, and he had to go to high-tech city for his office. He would take a share auto. Wife had to sit with him in the share auto, drop him near the gates of the office, and one friend will come from there and take him up to his room. He was afraid that something will happen to him if he stays alone. So disabling, so difficult. We had a long 6 months treatment schedule with him, with therapy, with medicine. And we did lots of experiments with him. We tried it out along with him with a co-therapist. And now he's able to travel all over the world on his own, overcoming this fear. So will somebody tell me what kind of anxiety this is? Psychologists, please. Counselor friends, please. What is this? Herein is the problem. So paranoid, fear of abandonment, monophobia, generalized anxiety disorder. So again, you're getting lots of answers. This is actually agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is the fear of staying alone, a fear of something might happen to me if I am alone. It can happen when they are in the it can happen when they are outside, so they don't want to travel outside. It can happen if they're alone, so they don't want to stay alone. So this kind of phobia is very disabling. There are people who have stayed locked up in homes because they're afraid to move out of the house. So this is another form of anxiety disorder. So we have discussed panic attack, we've discussed about specific phobias, and we've also discussed about agoraphobia. Now let's do the next question. He was this patient of mine who was a very happy-go-lucky, happy lady till the age of 45. And then her husband met with a very bad accident. After that, and he was hospitalized for almost 6 months, and she was terrified for his health. Okay. After that, for the next 2 years, what she found was, after the husband recovered and he was able to travel to office and able to do his work, she would always keep worrying that something will happen to him. That worry slowly started seeping into her other activities. Like if her children came back home late for tuition, then also she would start getting worried. If she would have, say, if she had 10 guests at home, she would start getting worried. And this is the woman who would cook for entire parties together. So everything in life became a worry. Everything became anxious. So anxiety was free floating. Every little factor became an anxiety creating or a provoking factor. So much so that she could not relax throughout the day. She would get up in the morning and think, "Doodh wala nahi aaya to kya hoga? Chini khatam ho gaya to kya hoga?" She knew these thoughts were ridiculous. She knew that nothing of that sort will happen. She knew there was a shop downstairs she could go and get. But the anxiety was so great. She would be afraid to cross the roads. She would be afraid to get down from the house. She would be having panic attacks. So every anxiety disorder I told you about, she had all of this. So can you tell me the diagnosis now, my psychologist colleagues? Yes, yes. Praveen Lasania ji, thank you. It is generalized anxiety disorder. It is not PTSD, because I'll come to PTSD in a little while. So we have come across, so what I'm trying to actually tell you here is, anxiety is not a single thing. Anxiety is a multitude. Anxiety comes as a bouquet of symptoms. So some can have a panic attack, like it's a situational thing. They can have it once in a while and then they're completely okay in between. Somebody can have it free floating throughout the day. Some people will have specific fears, like fear of heights, or fear of going out, or fear of staying alone. So anxiety does not, though the symptoms or the bodily symptoms like the sweating, like the palpitations, like the fear, like the queasiness in the stomach, I'm so worried, what will happen, I can't get to sleep. So bhi gaye galti se, to aadhe mein I'm waking up thinking, oh, what is going to happen to my life, isn't it? So anxiety can come, symptoms remaining the same, the way they present make it a different disorder. I want to again add here that it becomes a disorder only and only if it is leading to dysfunction. For example, I'm terrified of snakes, but मुझे snake कब देखना है? I don't see snakes in my daily life, right? So I don't need to get it treated at all. But if I am a software professional working on the 20th floor and I need to take a lift every day and I am afraid of closed spaces, I absolutely need treatment. So anxiety disorders need treatment only if, or in for the matter, any mental health disorder needs treatment only if they are in function in your daily life. Baki sabko side mein rakho, it is a part of your normal life. That's the way it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. I think they were very relatable examples, which I'm sure most of us would have faced at one point of time or the other. What I, and I'm sure the others here would also like to know is, why is it that some people are anxious whereas others are free of anxiety? To ask what is it that causes anxiety, and how do we prevent it at our level before it gets out of control, probably?
So anxiety is not a single thing. Like if you ask my psychologist colleagues here, they will tell you it's all about parenting and Freudian concepts of regression and all that. So let's not go into technicalities. But if you are జैసే మనకి ఆస్తి ఎలా వస్తుందో మన పేరెంట్స్ నుంచి మన యాంగ్జైటీ కూడా అలాగే వంశపారంపరంగా ఆస్తి రూపంలో వస్తుంది. ఇన్ అదర్ వర్డ్స్ జैसे आप अपने पेरेंट्स से you inherit property from your parents, you also inherit certain diseases from your parents, and anxiety is one such disorder. Most mental health disorders have a genetic component, which means one of them in their family tree is suffering from anxiety. Father, mother, or mama or chacha, paternal grandparents, maternal grandparents, and you may have got a little gene which is causing it. Then there is this God-given personality which is again biological also. Okay? So some of them बहुत सारा टेंशन होता है, but you find this person is laughing like this for nothing will happen, and they brush it off. Some people get worried with small things and they cannot tolerate. Third is the environment in which you've grown up as a child. So you have this alcoholic father who is beating you every day. You have an abusive mother who treats you bad, or you come from very poor financial states where daily needs are not being met, subject to maybe sexual abuse and so on and so forth. Make you a person with anxiety, not anxious, but prone to anxiety. So the person who's gone through all this has a parent who's anxious, who has an environment in which they're anxious, and then they go on later in life where they will when they have a major stressor like a failure in school. So there's a huge anxiety, and next exam becomes a very big challenge. So that is how it works. Not one factor, but multiple factors go on to make you an anxious person. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. So before we proceed, there are requests from the audience that you speak in Hindi as well. So please do keep that in mind.
Yes.
So what I would like to ask is, yes, we are getting to know a little more about anxiety, but is anxiety of the brain or of the mind?
Yeah. So if you ask anybody, they will tell you. Acha, before that, I would like all the audience to ponder on this. I don't want you to answer me right now. We'll discuss it later. Aapka brain hai kahan? Where is the brain and where is your mind? Brain to everybody knows is in the skull. Man kahan hai? Dil mein hai, jigar mein hai, dimag mein hai. That is a problem, isn't it? Man ka concept jo hai, as a psychiatrist, as a medical professional, man is a byproduct of the chemicals of the brain, is how we understand. How you see is how you feel, is what most people in therapy will tell you. Like you yourself, Srilata, very nicely pointed out that my friends tell me that apna mind divert karo, ya fir apna think different and all that. Which is true, isn't it? Most times it works also. So if you see a situation as something very serious, aapko dar lagta hai. If you see the situation as something, अरे सबके साथ होता है, मेरे साथ भी हो गया, कोई बात नहीं, light ले लेते हैं, then you'd feel better, or at least you don't feel as anxious. Let me explain the same thing in medical terms. Whatever you feel or see or think around you is processed by a part of your brain called the thalamus. Everything is a relay station. All sensations go there. This goes to a center called the amygdala. The amygdala is the fear center, which tells you, "Arey baap re, ye to bahut डरावनी चीज हो गई, ये तो मेरे साथ कुछ भयंकर होने वाला है." This is the part of the brain which is constantly provoking you and telling you that ये डरो 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 तुम डरो. But ऐसे तो नहीं होगा ना, you can't live like that, right? It'll be your heart will burst with anxiety. नहीं होता ऐसे. So to control that, there is this forebrain of the cortex, which will send signals to the amygdala and says, कि नहीं भाई मत डरो, ऐसे कोई बात नहीं है, we can still plan it out, we can still solve this problem. And then there is part of this brain called the hippocampus, which sets a context, which means supposing you're driving on a road and you had met with a very bad accident. So the context is उस road पे उस car में उस समय मेरे को accident हुआ था. So I'm afraid to drive. Next time you're starting to drive, you're feeling anxious. Your first reaction, your amygdala, is the most primitive part of the brain. It tells you, डरो डरो डरो, अब तो accident होने वाला है. The cortex tells you, नहीं नहीं धीरे धीरे चलाएंगे, कोई बात नहीं, let us try. The hippocampus tells you, अरे भैया वो तो तब था, उस दिन था जब वो accident हुआ था, आज तो अलग है. There's a different car, there's a different road. It is raining that day, it is not raining this day. So the hippocampus is set at context. Therefore, your brain now readjusts and the anxiety comes down. Now, suppose either the cortex is not working, or the hippocampus is not working, or the amygdala is in an overdrive. Anxiety to hona hi hai na? And when the fear increases, it's just not about the emotion. It will provoke the various chemicals and hormones to be released in your bloodstream, so that your heart is beating faster, your cortisol, your adrenaline, all these stress hormones are released in your body. Blood pressure, blood sugar, kidney issues, heart issues, you name it, सबका एक ही कारण आपका डॉक्टर बताएगा, stress. यही stress है, that they're talking about. यही stress which they're talking about. Yes, Srilata, does that answer your question a little bit?
Yes, it does. So what I understand is anxiety is also preventable and can also be treated in certain cases where required. Is my understanding right?
Yes, of course. So supposing you are an anxious person. See, God makes us all different, right? Our wirings in our brain are different. किसी का amygdala ज़्यादा बोलता है, किसी का कम बोलता है. किसी का hippocampus ज़्यादा बोलता है, किसी का कम बोलता है. किसी के parents में anxiety रहता है, किसी में नहीं रहता. So there are multiple things that are playing, right? So now you've understood कि भैया मेरे को तो ज़्यादा anxiety होता है. నాకు కొంచెం ఎక్కువ భయం మిగతా వాళ్ళకన్నా. నాకు కొంచెం ఎక్కువ tension. So can I do something in my daily life so that the stress does not keep adding up? If you remember, stress are those things which you cannot cope with. That's the first definition I gave you. So जब भी stress को आप जल्दी से you start dealing with it from the beginning itself, possibly थोड़ा anxiety कम होगा. Because anxiety comes in two forms. Separate anxiety, that means you're born with it. ये बंदा बचपन से ही है. Many of my patients I ask, you came to me now, can you tell me from how long are you feeling like this? Madam, I can't remember when I felt normal. From my childhood only I'm feeling like this. So these are people who are anxious, who are born that way. To some people who will tell you 3 months say after such an incident or without any reason, 3 months say this is different. So great anxieties, if you're already an anxious person by nature, a lot of things you can do in daily life. Don't allow life to pile up on you. Don't allow work to pile up on you. You can plan ahead कि आज मुझे ये चीज करनी है. Let me not पूरा एकदम से मैं नहीं कर सकता. I'm not God, I'm not a computer, I'm not a super brain. I'm a human being with lots of flaws and lots of limitations. So I will do what is most important today. And it is okay to postpone things if they're not important. And forgive yourself for not doing those things. Don't push yourself like that. And seek help. अपने से नहीं हो रहा है. मैं नहीं कर पा रही, नहीं चाहिए पुतना. What is the harm in taking help from your husband or your son or your daughter? They're there, and as you would help them, they should help you back. Many ladies, especially ladies, if you're listening to me, many ladies, even yesterday, a lady came to me and said, Madam, వీళ్ళొక్కళ్ళు పనిచేయరు. వీడు కప్పు తీసిన టీ మంచిగా తాగిన గ్లాసు టీ తాగిన కప్పు కూడా నేనే తీసి పెట్టాలి. Why would you encourage things like that? Why would you do this for your children like that at the cost of your health? Airplane में when you go in a flight, you will remember the instructions that पहले अपना मास्क लगाओ फिर बच्चे का लगाओ. So unless you are healthy mentally and physically, बच्चे या husband को आप नहीं help कर सकते. You are a priority. You are a priority. So if you make yourself the first priority, look after your health, automatically things around you start getting better. It's okay to fail sometimes. For children especially, the most anxious children are the toppers. आप believe नहीं करोगे, before the 10th exams and 12th exams, my clinic is filled with children who are 95 plus students. You know what is their worry? मुझे 100 नहीं मिला तो, मुझे 99 मिला तो, मुझे 97 मिला तो. ऐसे बेटा 3 मार्क नहीं मिले but 97 तो आपको मिला ना. Please focus on that. आप वो क्यों नहीं देख रहे? नहीं madam, people will laugh at me that I did not get 100 on 100. They self-build this anxiety. Parents may or may not be doing this, but They're so afraid of failure. And in that definition, that 3 marks less is failure. I tell them, beta, मैंने भी 97, 98, 99 पाया, but मैं यही, you will go far ahead of me even if you get 60. So don't worry about it. Marks don't make any difference later in life, right? They are important, no doubt, but that's not the end of life. You know? Learn from your experience. You learn that, especially for students. आपने night out किया, रात भर पढ़ा, सुबह जाके दिमाग blank हो गया. What does this experience teach you? That tension बढ़ता है जब मैं नहीं सोता हूँ ठीक से. I need a good night's sleep to perform better. Learn from this experience, and next exam, please have a good night's sleep. But please don't keep sleeping throughout the day. Otherwise, your parents will come and complain in my clinic that, madam, you have said it, therefore my child is sleeping on the day. Okay? And when the world becomes very dark, there is a ray of silver lining in all our lives. When I talked of genetics, when I talked of environment, when I talked of personality and psychiatric disorders, it means all of us, including me, the treating psychiatrist who treats so many patients every day, if I'm prone genetically, if my environment is such, I also will suffer from anxiety disorders. I will also get panic attacks. I'll get suicidal. And in that case, the silver lining is a social support I get from my friends and family. So reach out to people who are there to help you. Look at the positive things that your experience is bringing. It makes life more bearable. And also, please change the way you think. See, let me again give you an example of a patient of mine whose father was very strict. He was a military officer, and बच्चे को भी military में नहीं था, engineering पढ़ा, but he was very, very strict with him. कि सर उठाना नहीं है book से. And the minute he got up, even to go to the toilet, father will start shouting कि कितना time waste कर लिया, तू कितना useless है, तू कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएगा जिंदगी में. Please ask yourself, many of us, including me, may be saying this to our children. Okay? So what has happened is this word stayed in his head, and he very classically came and explained to me, madam, जब भी मैं कोई गलती करता हूँ, गलती तो छोड़िए, जब भी मैं रिलैक्स करता हूँ, in between work, in my office also, मेरा बाप बोलने लगता है मेरे दिमाग में कि बेटा तो useless है, you're doing nothing. Father passed away many years ago, okay, but his words are still there. One day he came rushing in full panic. क्या हुआ सर? मेरा कार पंक्चर हो गया रत्नदीप के सामने. I felt so anxious that ये मेरी गलती है, मैं कितना foolish आदमी हूँ, मुझे इतना भी नहीं आता और मैंने गाड़ी ले लिया और उसमें पंक्चर हो गया. That is how much your negative thinking matters. आपको हंसी आती होगी. I'm sure you're laughing when you think that why is this man thinking like this? Could he have not thought कि पंक्चर तो हर गाड़ी में होता है, इनकी क्या गलती है? But he feels he should be perfect, and if he's not perfect, there is something wrong with him. And if something is wrong with him, it causes anxiety. So examine your self-talk. Think. Listen to what your mind is telling you. And if your mind is telling you, you should do this, you must do this, you should never do this, tell yourself, thoda flexibility to zindagi mein banta hai. There is right and there is wrong, but most of life is gray. So please be flexible with yourself and people around you also. And if you're not able to understand, talk to people around you. There will be lots of people who listen. And to people who listen, may I also add a word of advice? Sunna zaruri hai. Don't advise, don't ask, don't question, don't tell them that तुम्हारा problem कितना छोटा है, मेरा problem कितना बड़ा है, पता है? Don't trivialize their concerns. Please listen. It's a very, very rare quality to listen non-judgmentally, listen patiently, and listen with all your attention and make that other person feel कि चलो कोई तो है इस दुनिया में जो मुझे समझ रहा है. So that's the best thing you can do for your family or friend who's suffering. In your daily life, laughter is always the best medicine. You have to learn to relax. Learn to relax. If you are, I have many children, I tell them कि जितना पढ़ाई आप कर रहे हो, उतना relax भी करो. जितना आप मुश्किल से you are, you're thinking I should study 8 hours, tell yourself I will relax for 2 hours. And make it a schedule, a part of a schedule. ये कोई मजाक नहीं है, relax करो. And in the way that you like to relax. Games that relax लगता है, video games नहीं भैया, छोड़ो वो game को कचुम्बर बना देता है. So if you like to relax by playing, if you like to relax by running around, if you like anything you would like to relax, keeping fit is very important. Dieting, a good diet, junk food, no. A good diet, a healthy body, a daily exercise feels wonderful. After half an hour of exercise, something called endorphins which are released. These are feel-good hormones in the body. बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. आप करके दिखाओ, करके तो देखो, शुरुआत तो करो. It will be very good and it will help you cope with a lot of things in life. Have a good set of friends. हमेशा अपना friend पास में रखो. Like I keep my sister wherever I go, even in my talks. Okay, so keep your friends close. People who understand and care for you. right? And if you don't have friends, keep a pet. If you don't like pets, keep a diary. But wherever you do, whatever you do, keep writing down whatever you feel, so that you have your venting out. निकालो कचरा दिमाग से, दिल से, मन से कचरा निकालो, तभी तो मन हल्का होगा. Okay? And if you are afraid of सब कर लिया, ये डॉक्टर ने बोला, मैंने सब कर लिया, nothing is helping, ना कि ये पनिक रावट दे दो, ना अंते टेंशन, go to a psychologist, do therapy. If the psychologist feels ये therapy से काम नहीं चल रहा है, many of my psychologist friends say that, and ये therapy अभी नहीं होगा, you're very too anxious for that, take that pill. दवाई की जब जरूरत है, आप जरूर लीजिए.
So by now, I think all of us have understood that when we feel anxious and it's, you know, getting beyond a point, we all have to reach out for medical help and leave it to the doctor to see how to, you know, treat us. But, you know, one thing that comes to my mind is the general talk that goes around. When we start medications for anxiety, we kind of get addicted to it, and it causes severe damage to us, things like, you know, brain damage. And it is always best to avoid long-term medication and rather, you know, bring it into control by leading a healthy lifestyle or yoga or meditation. By now, even I have understood that not all of it may be true, but I would like to hear it from you.
Yeah. So I want to take a little time here, because this is the topic of my heart, and which pains also the maximum. So psychiatric, any medical help that you take from a mental health professional will go in two directions. अगर आपको anxiety है, you don't want to come to a psychiatrist, no issues. Go to a psychologist who will determine whether you need therapy or medicines. ठीक है? And a therapy, those who respond only, usually the mild cases will respond only to therapy. If your anxiety has gone between moderate to severe, you may require medicines also. About medicines, if you have thyroid at a young age, you take. If you have BP at a young age or any age, you will take. If you have diabetes, you will take. If you have a skin disease, like long-term skin disease like psoriasis, you will take. If you have arthritis, you will take. तो फिर भैया दिमाग तो अपना ही है, दूसरों का तो नहीं है, बगल वाले का तो नहीं है. And I just told you that there are parts of the brain which are suffering. They're crying for nutrition. They're crying for support. Okay, we are not able to function properly. So give them that little bit of medicine. Okay, most psychiatrists, like me specifically, I get concerned if I write 2 or 3 medicines. So मुझे anxiety होने लगती है कि इसको इतना क्यों दवाई की जरूरत पड़ती है. So most of us write very few medications. So your thing in your head that psychiatrists बहुत will deliberately keep you addicted. ये भी सुना है मैंने कि deliberately keep you addicted. इसमें मेरा क्या फायदा होगा? I don't know. But आप पागल हो जाओगे. Yesterday, a patient comes to me and tells me, मैडम मैं तो आ रहा था आपके पास, बहुत बार ट्राई किया, but my neighbor told me कि साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास जा रहा है, वो तो तेरे को पागल करके ही छोड़ेगा. नहीं करते, नहीं करते. आपने ये भी तो सुना होगा कि साइकियाट्रिस्ट खुद भी पागल हो जाता है. मेरा तो 20 साल हो गए साइकियाट्री में. I'm a little sane, I think. So these are all myths that you have in your head. So ये एक अफवाह है. Please don't believe them. These myths come from watching you know, videos and TV serials. What was that? Tere Naam, where he was chained with chains, and when Salman Khan ultimately becomes mad, and he acts to be mad, and they tie him with chains. And there is one more where I don't remember the movie, where Kareena Kapoor gets a brain surgery and becomes abnormal. You know, these things don't happen in psychiatry. They don't. It's a medical science. आप जैसे कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाते हो, आप जैसे एक फिजिशियन के पास जाते हो, आप जैसे एक మీరు ఎంత ధైర్యంగా ఒక ఫిజిషియన్ దగ్గరికి కానీ ఎండోక్రైనాలజిస్ట్ దగ్గరికి కానీ వెళ్తారో అంతే నిర్మోహమాటంగా నిస్సంకోచంగా మా దగ్గరికి రండి. We are scientists, we are doctors who are taught to assess, taught to see what is wrong in your brain, and then we medicate. खाली पीली दवाई देने का हमको भी कोई मजा नहीं आता. See, you will not like if you get side effects. And believe me, many of them, since psychiatric disorders are long-term conditions, जो बहुत दिनों से you need to get it treated, they are therefore designed in such a way that they will not have long-term effects on your body. Maximum side effects जो मेरी दवाइयों से होती है, you will get a headache for 2-3 days, stomach में गुड़ होगा for 2-3 days, फिर खत्म. ये तो पैरासिटामोल के साथ भी होता है, right? So take off that myth. Remember, when you're not treating your disorders, you're doing tremendous injustice to your body, because man is a byproduct of the brain. Brain is in your skull, which is made up of lots of chemicals, which is suffering and needs support to function properly. Please do not hesitate to take that pill. Because if you don't, socially you'll be impaired. Like I told you, people with agoraphobia who can't get out of the house, people cannot go to work because they're so anxious. And if it starts in childhood, to kya bolna, the child is anxious, unwilling to go to school. Aapne se bahut sare, you would have dealt with, my psychologist friends would have dealt with children with full refusal ki mujhe school nahi jana, mujhe dar lag raha hai. Okay, ఎంతమందో పిల్లలు స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళడానికి కానీ అక్కడికి ఉండడానికి కానీ భయపడతారు. దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో అండ్ యాంగ్జైటీ విచ్ నీడ్స్ టు బి ట్రీటెడ్. థెరపీ కౌన్సిలింగ్ తో कराओ. If not, it will help. What all will it interfere with? That school nahi ja raha hai, what is going to happen? They cannot make friends, right? So later in life, social cycle will come down. They don't know how to deal with day-to-day issues. स्कूल ड्रेस पहनना है, बस में बैठना है, बस में कोई जगह नहीं दिया, मुझे इधर उधर पुश कर दिया, तो मुझे करना क्या है? So these small skills they understand and they develop as they grow. So हमने और आपने भी सीखा. But by not treating an anxious child, you're doing them a grave injustice, not just now, but for the future as well. Please keep that in mind. When you're an anxious person, you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, and there is no focus on the outside world. So you neglect yourself and people around you. छोटी छोटी बातें बहुत बड़ी हो जाती है. You make mountains out of molehills, right? చిన్న విషయాన్ని పెద్ద విషయం చేసుకొని దాని మైక్రోస్కోప్ కింద పెట్టి అమ్మో నా జీవితం ఏమైపోతున్నాను అని భయపడడం కూడా is a very bad side effect of anxiety. And in extreme cases, we have lost a lot of patients, unfortunately, to suicide. Because they were so anxious, they didn't have anybody to share it. किसी से share किया, उन्होंने बोला, you think positive, you divert your mind, उससे कुछ नहीं होता, it's all in your mind. वो बंदा जाएगा कहाँ? He tolerates, and after a point, he decides that yeah, something is wrong with me only. I am a failure. The best is that I don't do this world. So please be aware and remember, anxiety disorders, if untreated, can give rise to heart conditions, high blood pressure, lung conditions, thyroid, and they can give rise to them. And many of these medical conditions can also mimic anxiety disorders. So जब भी टेंशन होता है, एंजाइटी होता है, छाती धड़धड़ करता है, सांस लेने में दिक्कत होती है, डू नॉट एज्यूम इट इज एंजाइटी. प्लीज गो टू अ मेडिकल डॉक्टर. रूल आउट अदर थिंग्स एज वेल. आपका अस्थमा भी वही कर सकता है, आपका जो हार्ट कंडीशंस में कुछ कर सकते हैं, थायराइड अगर कम है तो भी हो सकता है, फिट से जो है हो सकता है. एंड इफ यू यूज्ड टू अल्कोहल एंड यू सडनली स्टॉप दैट, और यू टेक टू मच ऑफ अल्कोहल, तब भी हो सकता है. ओके, एंड अ वर्ड ऑफ कॉशन फॉर ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स, अगर आप दारू पी के अपना टेंशन कम कर रहे हो, मत करो. अगर आप फार्मासिस्ट और शॉप में जाके मुझे नींद नहीं आ रही, नींद की गोली दे दो, मत करो. व्हाट स्टार्ट विद वन एग और वन टैबलेट गोज ऑन टू मेनी, एंड उससे निकलना नामुमकिन है. तो जो आप एक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने चले, यू हैव brought into your house, into the brain, hundreds and hundreds of problems along. तो seek help. शर्म मानने की क्या बात है, दिमाग तो अपना ही है. So please keep that in mind. So I will this is a questionnaire, like I had promised you in my promo video that I will tell you how to assess yourself. These are 7 questions which have got from scores from 0, 1, 2 and 3. Please score yourself in each and mark your total scores. I will leave this on the screen for the next minute, and then we will go on to polling. Do you find out what your scores are? So are you feeling nervous in the last 2 weeks? पिछले 2 हफ्तों में have you felt anxious, nervous or on the edge? On the edge means on the edge అంటే రిలాక్స్ అవ్వలేకపోవడం, ఎప్పుడు ఏదో ఒక భయం ఉండడం, బాధ ఉండడం. Not being able to stop or control worry, कि आपको पता है कि आपको वरी करने की जरूरत नहीं है, फिर भी आपका दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा. और या you're worrying too much about different things, बहुत सारी चीजों के बारे में आपको टेंशन होता जा रहा है, आप रिलैक्स कर ही नहीं पा रहे हो, आप इतना रेस्टलेस हो रहे हो कि एक जगह टिक के बैठ नहीं पा रहे. इरिटेशन होता है छोटी छोटी बातों पे, एंड आपको हमेशा एक डर लगा रहता है कि समथिंग बैड इज गोइंग टू हैपन, ఇంకేదో అయిపోతుంది నా జీవితంలో, నాకేదో ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది, నాకు భయం వస్తుంది. So where do you fall? Each one please mark yourself and then make your total marks. So I hope at the end of, as you're marking, I will just go through quickly about what we've talked till now. Anxiety disorders are medical conditions. They arise from your brain. It is not just the brain that is affected, but all the rest of the body as well, because the chemicals are released. It can be treated with both counseling, or what we call technically as cognitive behavior therapy, and it can be treated medically. Do not fear your medicines. If you are an anxious person by nature, make small changes in your life so that you don't have to feel anxiety. आपकी एंजाइटी और दूसरे वालों की एंजाइटी एक जैसे नहीं रहती. There are different varieties and forms of anxiety. which can range from anxiety, which is short-lived for about 5 minutes, to anxiety, which is there throughout the day, anxiety which comes in specific situations, to anxiety which has no rhyme or reason. If it is interfering with your life, if it is causing you disability, and if you have scored more than 10 in this questionnaire. Let's have a poll. Mani sir, can we have a poll now? Yeah. If all of you can tell me, what are your scores? Do you fall in mild? Did you score between 5 and 9? Did you score between 10 and 14? And did you score between 15 and 21? This is a self-assessment which is called Generalized Anxiety Disorder Scale 7, GAD-7. You can download it also. But again, a word of caution, not all scales are reliable. Scales देख के आप ये मत अंदाजा लगाओ कि you have issues. Okay? If your issues are persistent and pervasive, which means it is there every day of the week, it is there every hour of the day, and it is interfering in your daily activities, and if it is causing problems to you and to people around you, and you're not able to control it, and you have scored significantly on the scale, it is a time to at least take an opinion. You may or may not be suggested medication. You may or may not be suggested, you may just be suggested lifestyle modifications or how to do a better work-life balance. But you will not be, there's no harm asking for help. So will you please share the results? Or should I?
Results are being shared, ma'am. May I help you with them?
Yes, please. Yeah.
50% have said mild, 33% have said moderate, and 16% have said severe.
Yeah. So exactly how I have told you in the beginning, that 1 in 10 or 1 in 15 will have some kind of anxiety disorders. No harm. No harm. So if you have an anxiety disorder, it is not the end of the world. It can be either managed on a day-to-day basis if it's your personality. And if it is an illness that is started, it can absolutely be treated both by counseling and by medication. The only thing you need to do is to be aware. So the 100 people, I don't know how many have joined, but if the 100 people who have joined today can spread the message to 100 more people, it will help all of us to understand that it'll spread the news. And what better way to understand mental health than by hearing it word of mouth. So please go back home today, discuss with your friends and relatives. If you find somebody is anxious, refer them to your nearest mental health professionals. There are many who are practicing, and you will see the wonderful results at the end of the day. Okay, can we stop sharing the poll results? Yeah. So with this, I want to just leave you with one last slide. We have come to the end of our discussion, and we will be taking your questions now. One last slide that I wanted to so this is what we're starting, Roshni Counseling Center starting in January. This is for people who are pursuing psychology or who are already counseling psychologists who want to have a more in-depth awareness and understanding about various psychiatric disorders. We plan on a 3 to 4 days workshop starting January. You write to us at drpingaliworkshops@gmail.com so that we can keep your interest and keep you informed. Various disorders diagnosed in DSM-4 is a section. For example, all anxiety disorders, OCD and OCD spectrum disorders, and the schizophrenia and spectrum disorders will be different workshops conducted over the next 3 months from January to March, starting with how to diagnose and differentiate and how to assess and how to treat. So I'll be joined with my psychologist colleagues from Roshni, who will be taking up the treatment part of this one, and I will be doing the understanding the basic psychopathology based on DSM-5. So if you're interested, please do join us. I love to teach, and if you love to learn, this is the place for us. And at the end of the workshop, I'm hoping that all of you will be far more confident in differentiating, making a differential diagnosis. And I will keep it, I promise you, I'll keep it very interactive with lots of case reports and case studies. And if possible, a live patient will get in, but all this will be online. And I will give you all written material that will, and the presentations at the end of the workshop. So if you're interested, please do write in. I'm deliberately created a new email ID so that we keep it separate. But this again, I want to reiterate, it's only for people who are pursuing psychology and will be interested in treating patients in future or are already practicing psychologists. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. It was a wonderful session. We will be taking up questions from the audience in some time. Over to you, Mani sir, now.
Thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi ma'am, Sri Lata ma'am. That was an incredibly insightful session. It definitely helped me. We all feel levels of anxiety, different levels of anxiety in our lives. So it's very helpful for us to understand when do we get to know when should we get help, and when it is a natural phase that is occurring to us. One of the questions, ma'am, if I may please interrupt my flow, was that is your workshop free or paid?
Workshops will be paid because this is for the practicing psychologists. It's not for the general public. Though we'll be having, which was cooperation, we'll be having further such webinars on various psychiatric disorders over the next 6 months.
Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to talk a little more about Vishwa.org and what it is that we do. After that, we will take questions from the audience. So thank you for your patience. As I'd said in the beginning, Vishwa Talks is a platform for change makers and social champions. What makes us different from other crowdfunding websites is that we focus on people that are trying to solve problems for the greater good of society, not just for themselves. By all means, you can raise fundraisers for your personal emergencies, for your loved ones. But the philosophy behind Vishwa is that we impact greater change and make the world a better place. And we all know that we live very busy lives. We don't have the time to actually fix the things that we see around us and in the world. But there are people who are devoting their entire lives to solve problems that touch each and every one of us. They are focusing on the marginalized parts of society, working with people that really need their help. At Vishwa, we focus on various different causes. As I'm sure you know by now, by attending Vishwa Talks, if you have attended multiple, you will know that every week we focus on a different cause. And we have fundraisers currently running on Vishwa.org. These are run by credible, legitimate NGOs that are doing some very good work in their respective fields, and they could really use all the support that they can get to help them fulfill their selfless endeavors to make the world a better place for other people. One such fundraisers is by Auroville Foundation. Auroville is a society based in Pondicherry. 30 years ago, Auronevi, an incredible woman who has an incredible green thumb, chanced upon a 50-acre barren piece of land in Auroville that had been rescued by Auroville Foundation from development. Over the 30 years that passed since then, she's taken that barren land and she's converted into a 50-acre lush green forest. And though she had a lot of help, though she had volunteers, all the work up until now has been done by hand. And you can imagine how tedious that must be. Now the entire team is beginning to grow old, if I may say so, and they're finding it extremely difficult to increase that green cover and fulfill what they set out to do. So Auroville is raising funds for a Bobcat, which is essentially a small bulldozer, to help make their work a little easier and reduce the drudgery. So please do contribute. They're helping to enhance our green lung. Green lung in Pondicherry will benefit the entire country. We know that it is not localized to the region. So please do contribute. Every little goes a long way. The second fundraiser that we have going on, if my team can please show it, is by Parampara Foundation, which is a Hyderabad-based NGO that works to preserve and protect heritage dance forms, Indian heritage dance forms. And we all know that COVID has been extremely difficult for all performing arts and artists, but none have been impacted more than dancers and those that require a stage and an audience. With COVID restrictions and social distancing norms, performance art and its artists have been left with no means to livelihood due to a lack of platforms or events where they can perform. To bridge this, PDL was created. PDL is Parampara Dance League, which is essentially a dance competition that is hosted virtually on an online platform called Lifecycle. And it is created to bridge the gaps left by the new normal in a post-pandemic India. It endeavors to provide a near real-time stage for artists to showcase their talents. Parampara Foundation is raising funds to give out rewards to the people that win, to the artists that win. So please do support them. These crafts need our support, otherwise they will be gone by the next generation. And we know that this is a very real possibility. And a third fundraiser is by Bala Vikas Education Society for disabled children. And Bala Vikas has been doing some phenomenal work with disabled children and also focusing on underprivileged disabled children. Surveys show that nearly 2 out of every 100 children in India suffer from some form of mental disability. Children with such disorders find it extremely difficult to communicate with others and function in society, and as a result, need utmost support and care during their developmental journey. For 14 years, Bala Vikas Educational Society has helped many such children and their parents who needed mental growth and encouragement. They are raising funds to help them pay salaries of their incredibly committed and devoted faculty of teachers and counselors. So please do support. I believe, and we all at Vishwa believe, that we need to do what little we can to progress the work of these people that are devoting their lives. If we wait to help everyone, we will end up helping no one. So please do whatever little you can. And lastly, I would like to leave you with our next session, which is a part of our art and culture cause. This is next Saturday, wherein we have Parampara Foundation, from Parampara Foundation, talking about the Ramappa Temple, the 39th UNESCO World Heritage Site, and all the different elements that have made it, that have contributed to it becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's going to be a really interesting conversation next weekend. We hope to see you there. Now, I'll hand it back to ma'am, Dr. Sri Lakshmi and Srilata ma'am, to take some questions from the audience, if you're okay with it. I see there are a lot of questions. So please proceed, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we will be taking up a few questions which have been posted by the audience. So Manju Java asks, please share 3 simple ways to calm down anxiety other than meditation and pranayam.
Okay. So if you watch the YouTube video of this presentation, you will find it. But just to reiterate again, pranayama is an excellent, meditation is an excellent way. But if you're too anxious to do meditation, also sometimes it won't work. Please keep that in mind. Okay? And please ensure that you are maintaining a regular physical activity other than pranayama. And also that you are talking out your problems to people whenever you have issues, friends you trust that will help you or at least listen to you. And more importantly, please take help from other people in doing your daily activities. If you're not, if it's feeling too much and if you're feeling anxious, do delegate out your work to other people and let them do that. And don't bother about it. Then don't micromanage कि सही किया कि नहीं किया. छोड़ दीजिए, दे दीजिए और छोड़ दीजिए. The next question.
Yeah. So there was a question which says, what happens? How do we deal with the issue that when you give medicines, it causes drowsiness? So how do we deal with that?
Yeah, very, very valid question, and you should have asked this. And thank you for the person who's asked it. All medicines do not cause drowsiness. See, what happens is many people with anxiety and depression, when they come to us, what is most disturbed is their sleep. वो सो ही नहीं पाते रात को. They find it very difficult to relax, to sleep. And because they don't sleep properly at night, they wake up feeling very drowsy and restless and, napping in the daytime. Nothing feels refreshing. So usually sleeping pills are given. See, antidepressants, there are 2 types of medicines that will be given initially. One which is treating your core anxiety, मैंने जो बोला जो brain parts जो इस पे काम कर रहा है. And second is to help you symptomatically, especially with your sleep. So sleeping pill per se, which also reduces anxiety, by the way, is given only for the initial 1 to 2 weeks. If you're too drowsy, you'll be told how to adjust your dose. But best thing when you're taking medicine is take it early, take it by 7:30, 8 o'clock, have your dinner. Once you're done with your dinner, switch off your gadgets, mobile phone pakad ke aapko sona nahi hai, you will not be able to sleep, right? Switch off, put yourself some soft music, no light stimulating your eyes, and try and get to sleep. अच्छे से सो जाइए. अगर 1 घंटा ज्यादा सोने से you'll be fresh in the morning, please do that also. And if you're still drowsy, normally by 2 to 3 weeks, these medicines are withdrawn, the sleeping pills, but the anxiety pills go on, and those pills do not cause any kind of drowsiness.
Thank you. So there's one more question from Durga S, who says, I have a phobia to traffic and hence could not learn to drive. How do I overcome this?
Durga, the best way is to face your anxieties. So start slow and do it. See, if it is very disabling, you can do it with us. Our therapists are there who will first help you virtually. Okay, on a you imagine yourself, or you do a driving on. If you've gone to a driving school, they will help you drive on the virtually on the roads, and you feel okay, I can control. Then start with small distances. Start with small lanes, and then go on. See, whenever for all people having issues with specific anxieties, start slow, start small, start slow, go slow. So if the least anxiety provoking thing you drive. So if the least anxiety provoking thing is imagine in your head that I'm driving on a road, please sochiye. Think, imagine yourself driving on the road. You'll feel anxious slowly, that anxiety will come down. Then go, if it's a two-wheeler you're talking about, go and sit in the two-wheeler for some time till your anxiety comes down. Then this will take a long time, maybe take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, till your brain gets adjusted. Then try the bi-lanes, छोटे-छोटे गलियों में चला के. What will happen here? Ask yourself this question. All anxiety people should ask themselves this question. What is the worst thing that will happen? You'll fall, no? What else will happen? You'll break a leg or two. But you have overcome the biggest thing in your head. That is your fear. That is your battle. Okay? So please try this. If not, we're there to help you.
Okay. The next question is from Kasula Maharshi, who wants to know if anxiety causes loss of appetite and loss of memory.
Yes, absolutely does. Appetite, because you're so anxious, your stomach is in knots, you don't feel like eating. Memory, because whenever you're anxious, your brain is always inside. When you're thinking, no, either you're thinking about your thoughts which are inside, or you're focusing the work outside. Whenever you have anxiety, your head is so full with thoughts, and you're always wondering, ye hoga to kya hoga, wo hoga to kya hoga. You're so focused inside that you do not focus outside. So for example, when you talk of memory, I think this is what is a common example given. मैंने यहाँ चश्मा रखा, मुझे याद नहीं है, मैं ढूंढती जा रही हूँ, मुझे मिल नहीं रहा है. It is because आप जब वो चश्मा टेबल पे रख रहे थे, आपके दिमाग में इतना भरा हुआ था और आप इतना सोच रहे थे that you never focused on the fact that your specs were being put on the table. So it is not your memory that is going, it is your attention which is not. But untreated mental illnesses long term will cause problems with the brain, will cause memory disturbances. So overcoming the solution, to overcome it is the best solution is to get yourself treated.
Neha Yadav wants to know if overthinking can also, cause anxiety.
It's the other way around, Neha. You overthink because you're anxious, not because you don't become anxious because you overthink. You overthink because you're anxious. So in an anxious person, what happens is you start looking at, you don't have any reasons to be anxiety. Many times people with anxiety don't have any reasons to be anxious. There are no reasons. Okay? Somebody will say, my life is going well, my husband is a nice man, my child studies very well, I have no financial difficulties, फिर भी मैं relax नहीं कर पा रही. Because your brain is anxious, वो ढूंढता है कि कौन सा मैं पकड़ूं और उसके बारे में worry करूं at a subconscious level. So your brain is actively searching for things to be anxious about, and then you overthink. So overthinking is not leading to anxiety. Anxiety is leading to overthinking.
Tabu Sheikh wants to know depression ko kaise dur kare. I think we have answered it already as a part of the presentation, but if you would like to add something for her.
आपने जो सवाल पूछा, our next workshop I'm hoping to do it on depression so that I can answer you more in detail. Depression and anxiety, मैं हमेशा अपने पेशेंट्स को बोलती हूँ कि कजन ब्रदर्स सोचो, एक आता है तो दूसरा आता ही है. तो डिप्रेशन का भी वही ट्रीटमेंट है जो हम एंजाइटी को देते हैं, कि इन द फॉर्म ऑफ थेरेपी एंड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मेडिसिन. डिप्रेशन या एंजाइटी को लाइटली मत लीजिएगा. अगर ये बहुत दिनों तक चल रहा है और अगर ये बहुत आपको तकलीफ दे रही है और अगर इससे आप बहुत परेशान हैं और आपकी जिंदगी में जो आप काम करना चाह रहे हैं वो नहीं बन पा रहा आपसे, तो जरूरी है कि इसका इलाज कराएं. तो कुछ हिचकिचाना मत, ये दिमाग के अंदर कुछ चल रहा है जिसकी वजह से दवाई की जरूरत है.
The next question is from Dr. D.K. Dwivedi, who wants to know how a person fearing from flights can overcome his problem.
Yeah. So if this is fearing flights is because of closed spaces, like I gave you an example. I'll tell you what we did with the gentleman who came to us. So he was afraid of flights. There was no question of sitting in a room. Even in my clinic, which mostly has glass walls and you can see outside, he was unwilling to sit inside my room unless the door was completely open. So slowly the therapy started in a way that he was made to sit with door partially closed and completely closed and locked from outside. And he learned step by step to tolerate his anxiety. ये तो हो गया David therapy की बात. Then at the same time, he was given tablets to reduce his anxiety. And he was reassured that nothing is going to happen. So he practiced for some time sitting in closed rooms, taking the medicine, understood that बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. But he took one medicine before he sat in the flight. Came back from the US and told me, madam, I could have never gone if I had not had this help. And from then he's been traveling frequently. So in the last 10 years, I think I've seen him almost 10, 15 years ago, he has been to US multiple times and that fear is gone. So that's how it's done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sri Lakshmi. Thank you so much, Srilata ma'am. There are a lot of questions and we are limited by time, of course, but to all the audience members here who are looking for help, this is Roshni. These are the contact details for Roshni. These are contact details for Vishwa. You can reach out to either of us to get in touch with Sri Lakshmi ma'am. We will also be sharing through email her contact details and contact details for her workshop email ID. Just to reiterate what ma'am has said, if any of you are suffering from mental trauma, mental issues, please don't take it lightly. Please trust your doctors. Get the help that you need, and for yourselves, for your loved ones. Like ma'am said, if you would go to a cardiologist and listen to what they say, you should also listen to your psychiatrists and psychologists, no doubt about that. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful session, ma'am. We loved having you.